Hello, everybody. This is John Corelli, your average guy and his average guy opinion. Today is episode 101, and we are starting to get into spring. So, you know what that means? It's open season on unarmed black men again. I don't know what it's going to take. I honestly think we should all just do a general strike. If this is something you care about, if you're tired of black men getting shot for no reason. The latest, this one kind of hit me hard because his name was Daunte, and that's my oldest son's name. So it kind of bothers me a little more than it maybe usually would. I don't know. It's a bothersome every time. And if it's not bothersome every time, then maybe you need to check your morality because it's just constant. I mean, as soon as I heard it on the radio this morning or last night, whenever I heard it, no, it was this morning. I just thought, and Minneapolis can't even get through like a controversial court case about a cop killing a black man, and they're doing it again. Kid's name was Daunte Wright. I don't know all the details, but I do know that apparently he was in Brooklyn, which sounds like a suburb of Minneapolis. He was apparently being pulled over because they said he had like one of those pine tree looking air fresheners on his mirror and it was blocking his view. Sure. You need to have your hand on your gun or your taser when you're approaching someone about that. The kid, I think he turned his phone on, and I think the phone got turned off, but I'm not sure about that. It sounds like that's what happened. That he turned on his phone, called his mother. They told him to put down the phone, and then they hung up the phone, or maybe he hung up the phone. Next thing the mom who was called knows is her child is dead. Now, I want you to all think about that because I think we have a real problem with empathy in this country right now. We all want to look at it or many of us want to look at it from the cop's point of view. And, well, why don't we look at it from the dead person's point of view or the mother of the dead person's point of view? And I'm sorry I'm all stripy. I maybe picked a wrong time to record here from my bedside, but, maybe I look good in stripes. Definitely not horizontal stripes. I usually look better in vertical stripes because I'm kind of wide. But so yeah, imagine that. Imagine your kid's driving home from work or wherever he was driving from, and he's just dead. There's no reason for it. I mean, in a car accident, I get it, but it's just out of hand, and I don't think at this point that it's ever going to change. I don't. Can you imagine being a black person? I have many black friends, and many of them are scared to death. I have a white friend who has a black wife, and he has two mixed race kids. And one has autism, and the other is what they call twice exceptional. He's got some issues, but he's like super, super smart, and he will be independent eventually. He's my youngest son's best friend. That's how I became friends with this man. And he has to tell his kids every day, there is a different set of rules for you. Can you imagine that? Just based on the color of your skin, you have to be told that there's a different set of rules for you. You can't talk to a cop the way a white person can talk to a cop. No way. Sound right to you? Doesn't sound right to me. And I'm a little worn out because my back hurts and I just got home from work. But I did want to hit this. I think this is a good, actually, subject to hit when I'm a little worn out because I don't have quite as much energy to put into it and just race and babble. I can go a little slower, pace myself, and just try to hit the main points of the topic. um, I just I'm in a way I'm speechless, which probably isn't a good thing for a 10-minute video when you're speechless. Apparently, this cop, female cop, not that that matters, but it is a detail. Instead of shooting this kid with her gun, shot him with her taser. Now, why is a kid getting tased if he's just being pulled over for a parking ticket? Why is her hand even near that stuff? The first thing her hand should probably be on is a flashlight. If it happened at night, I assume it happened at night. That's just what's in my head, but I don't even know. But that should be the first thing. If you are really that freaked out by violence, and you think that every black kid you pull over has a gun, then maybe being a police officer isn't the job for you. Just a thought. If you're really, why would you want that stress in your life? For the pay they get and for all the disrespect they get, then why don't you just find another line of work? I don't understand why. Can you imagine how frazzled your nerves would be if you always thought you had a really good chance of dying at work? And I understand that's part of the police officer's job. You take that risk by taking that job. But if you're such a heightened person, you go into every situation thinking that this is my I'm going to heaven or hell or wherever I'm going, then maybe it's not the right job for you. Maybe they need to do temperament tests, psychological tests on these cops. Maybe they do. I honestly don't know. Sure doesn't seem like it. It sure seems like they're really scraping the bottom of the barrel for many of these officers. People are already circling the wagons on the police officer's side, saying, "Oh, I can't believe there's going to be riots about this," blaming the mother for inciting riots. I think she posted something on Instagram or Twitter, basically saying they killed my kid. I don't think she instigated anything. When does it stop? When peaceful protests haven't worked, very little has changed. So, what do we do? Does violent protest work? Maybe, maybe not. We need to rewrite laws, obviously. But even if we rewrite laws, those laws that are written are only as good as A, the people that uphold them, and B, the people that will uphold those people or hold those people to a standard. What I mean is that the police need to be competent and well trained, and they need to be upheld to a standard, a higher standard, frankly, and they're often to a lower standard. And then beyond that, the system needs to take care and look for racist judges and racist police chiefs and racist even jurors, and I don't know how, if Chauvin somehow, I know I'm jumping around, but I knew I would kind of hit on this point. If Chauvin is somehow exonerated, there will be riots, and they probably will be lengthy and full of damage, and they should be. They should have been 30 years ago when it happened with Rodney King, and they should be again if it happens with Chauvin. It's got no point of ridiculousness. You imagine? I mean, just imagine being black. Just imagine being black. Imagine the different set of rules. And why? Why? Because your skin's a different color? You didn't have anything to do with that. It's absolutely absurd. I don't know too many other details about the case. I'll look into it. I probably should have gotten more details, but here we are. Another young person is dead. Another young unarmed black man is dead. Why? Because he had a Christmas tree on his mirror. Because the cop is so incompetent, or a big ass liar. We don't know which. But you should know your taser from your gun. I've seen them on cops. We have cops at my school oftentimes, and I've looked at what they're carrying. Most of them have the taser on one side and the gun on the other, and they should. If this was truly a mix-up, man, it's hard to believe. It's hard for me to believe. You have, like I've said this before, the cops have every advantage in their favor. They have everything. They have all the equipment. They have all the backup. They have the law on their side. They have the court systems on their side. There's no reason for this to continue. So yeah, and I've seen people circle the wagons during the Chauvin case. Chauvin, however you're going to say it. I'm not very French, so I don't know. But I am watching people on the more conservative side circle the wagons around him, and during this court case, saying he was following policy. The defense is saying that George Floyd was unhealthy and or on drugs, and that's why he died. Did you watch the video? How can you reasonably, what kind of mental gymnastics does it take to watch a man beg for his life? And they said that right there. The way he was begging and pleading for his life probably proved he wasn't on not drugs worthy of being pinned down to the ground for 9 minutes and getting choked out until you're dead. But imagine having the mental gymnastics to somehow, I mean, what kind of defend? I mean, he's probably, I don't know if he's like the DA. I don't know who the defender is for Chauvin, but maybe private, maybe public. I don't know. But I don't know how defense comes up. How are we going to defend this guy? It's pretty indefensible. It's on film. Well, let's say that the victim just died of his own volition. It had nothing to do with a 200-pound man putting his knee in his neck for 9 minutes. All right. Next video will be a little more fun, coming up soon. Thank you for listening to 101, 102 coming up. Talk to you soon. Peace.